All right, if you're watching this video, that means you're reviewing for quiz 3. And so here's a little guide for that. So you're gonna get a question that says something like, Alice eats 2 ounces of base 4 cake for breakfast, 3 ounces of base 4 cake for lunch, 7 ounces of base 4 cake for dinner. Write an expression that represents her height after 5 days. And so what we'd see here is we'd see that we've got a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. So her height's going to multiply by 4 twice at breakfast, then it's going to multiply by 4 3 times at lunch, and it's going to multiply by 4 7 times at dinner. So in one day, her height's going to multiply by 4 12 times, right? Because that's 2 plus 3 plus 7. Add that together, you get 12. So this is for one day. Then if your height multiplies by 12 in one day, after 5 days, you're going to do 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 2 plus 5 times, right? Or you're going to multiply by 12 5 times. So here we have written that her height multiplies by 4 12 times 5 times, which is going to be 12 times 5 is 60. So an equation that represents her height in this is 4 to the 60th power. So this is an acceptable answer. This is also an acceptable answer because this tells me that, it gets multiplied by 12 in one day, and that's 5 days. Another acceptable answer would be writing 4 to the 2 plus 3 plus 7, and we know that happens in one day, so we're going to group it together, and we know we're measuring for 5 days. This is also an acceptable answer. And if you really wanted to deconstruct it, another acceptable answer would be 4 to the 2 plus 3 plus 7, breakfast, lunch, dinner, plus breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and so on, all the way up to your 5 days. So this would be acceptable as long as it's complete. Mine's not. This would be acceptable, that would be acceptable, that would be acceptable. So there you go. That's question 1. Question 2 asks about, for Alice, she eats 3 ounces of base 2 cake every meal. And what is an expression that represents her height multiplier after 7 meals? So this one we actually have, let me move that. Okay, so this one we actually have, we generalized this rule in class the other day where we'd say whatever our base cake is, we have that as our base number. And then one of the numbers in the exponents represents the number of meals, and the other one represents the number of ounces per meal. And it doesn't actually matter the order, so 2 to the 7 times 3 is also equal to 2 to the 3 times 7. So either of these expressions would be great. So this answer is okay. This answer is okay. And if you do the math, right, 7 times 3 is 21. This answer is also okay. Okay, finally, Alice eats 3 ounces of base 5 cake and then 3 ounces of base 4 cake. So here we've got... we can represent it like this. So she eats 3 ounces of base 5 cake and then 3 ounces of base 4 cake. We have the same exponent but with different bases, and I want you to mush it down into one exponential expression. What we learned is we had this generalized rule of a to the x times b to the x would just equal, parentheses, a times b to the x. These are 2 different exponential numbers. This is one exponential number. This is what the form your answer needs to be in. So that's why we say, okay, well, if they're both the same exponent, we keep that exponent, right? Because x, we keep the x. And then we multiply the 2 bases together. So 5 times 4 to the 3rd power. If you leave your answer like that, you need parentheses. Because if you don't have it, then you don't have an exponent on the 5, but here you clearly do. So make sure you keep your parentheses, you do your multiplication inside the parentheses, and your exponent is on the outside of the parentheses. If you want to do that math, like if you know what 5 times 4 is, and you'd say, hey, I'd rather just write 5 times 4 is 20, you can write 20 to the 3rd power. This is also an acceptable answer. Okay, that's it. Good luck on your quiz.